Listen, if you got a spin cycle like that, you can wash some clothes.
That's me right there.
I feel like you said that joke before.
No, I did. Stop hating.
And that gets my pulse way up.
It's good to have you back, baby.
Man, it's great to be back, man.
Commanders family, we went out to the desert and got the dub. We are 3-1 and it feels so good. The whole team showed up on Sunday and we have plenty of highlights from our Week 4 victory against the Arizona Cardinals. We're back in the DMV, so we have a field pass with Big Fletch just for y'all. And this week we'll be back at the crib for our game against the Cleveland Browns. So you know we have to break down the Week 5 matchup. Commanders family, it all starts now.
Shout out my guys. Hell yeah. Thanks, Bob. Big congrats, Bob. Thanks, guys.
Welcome into Command Center Commanders family. Brian Cooper Jr. here with Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, and Logan Paulson. And we are in the new digs, the new studio. And you know what? When you get wins like that, you get a new studio.
Just like that.
14, just like that. It's the magic of Jayden Daniels. How y'all feeling after that win?
I feel great, man. You know, it was a great team win.
Mildly,
Yeah. We can talk
awesome.
we can talk all day about it, man. But so much to talk about, though. You know, I think our defense went out there and played a fabulous game, holding, Kyler Murray to 115 yards and sacking him 4 times. Man, that stood out a lot too.
First of all, I feel great. And I ain't scared to tell nobody. I talk to the fans. They scared to be happy. They scared to say, you know what? We are good. We are good. It's okay to tell your friends that they ain't good right now. Enjoy this time.
I mean, I feel great also. Because, hey, Jayden Daniels, excellent, right?
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury, excellent. B-Rob rushing his face off. Yeah. Jeremy McNichols coming in and filling in the role there. Yeah. Defense playing well. Special teams playing well. I mean, everything kind of went as it should go. Great team win, and that makes me feel good.
Logan Paulson, I feel great now. No better way to feel great. And Logan, I know something else you're gonna feel great about. Yeah. We got some highlights for y'all. It's time for Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. And fellas, since we're talking highlights, we gotta start with the man of the week. Jeremy McNichols getting it done. Tanner, what you say my man was moonwalking back there, wasn't
man, smooth criminal, baby, watch it. You want some? Get it.
Dude, well blocked, great finish there, man. What is his first touchdown in like 5 years?
Yeah, like 5 years, so give me a number 3 with a large Pepsi. That's McNichols.
And then the next play, Igbenogany, number 1, looking like a young Fred Smoot.
Way to stick your hand in there and get up and let them know what you did. All right? That's what you do.
That was a great play by the whole defense. You saw everybody go out there and
doing their job.
Doing their job, no doubt.
And Fred, to your delight, we have another defensive play. That's right, Dorrance Armstrong. He was our toast of the town in post game, getting the sack.
Getting after them. That's what you got to do. All right, dirty quarterbacks make bad plays. Clean quarterbacks make touchdowns.
And this looks like a coverage sack to me. He's pumping. He's pulling that ball down.
Nowhere
Great
to
job
go.
by the whole defense.
And Tanner, you know what? Offense sells tickets though, so let's go to Terry McLaurin for the touchdown.
Hey, go hands. Nah, better yet, go shoulder pads. Terry said, I gotta have it one way or another.
Great throw by Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, it was on the line.
Now to the play that led to our 4th quarter touchdown.
Get that ball out. What are we doing? Get that thing out.
Ball is life.
Get that thing out.
Hey, with a name like Luvu, thank you. Thank you, Luvu.
That guy's playing like an absolute
for
maniac.
everything you do.
Good job, man.
Tasmanian W himself.
Yeah.
Hey, man, ain't nothing like watching highlights after a win, and ain't nothing like hearing from our fearless leader.
I'm not surprised. I knew the connection would be the number one thing for us to see if we could play well, how long that would take, how connected this team could get on all 3 phases. And so the support of one another, all of those things, that's to me, the faster we could do that. And I thought the team's done a good job of fast tracking the feeling out process, putting agendas to the side, absolutely all out effort. Like those are the non-negotiables that we'd have to have. I think that, the team has got that way faster than you'd say like a more established team, would have some of those things in place. So those are some of the things that don't show up on the stat sheet that I certainly look for.
Commanders family, we have plenty of shows for you this week. Thursdays, we have Command Center with myself and the guys. And Saturdays, don't miss London Fletcher, Santana Moss, and Sean Springs chopping it up on the Emmy-nominated Players Club. And don't miss the game plan with myself, Logan Paulson, and head coach Dan Quinn every Sunday morning right before kickoff. And Commanders family, thank you so much for supporting us every single week. We cannot do this without you, but be sure to check out our content on the Commanders YouTube page. Now, it's time for your can't miss moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders.
Thanks, Brian. Let's get into Paulson's pulse check, man. We've got a lot of exciting stuff happening around this team right now. We got Jayden Daniels. Is he the best quarterback over 4 games of all time? And the answer is, statistically, yes. I mean, look at this. 82.1 completion percentage. And look at these other names on here. We got Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Kurt Warner, and Jayden Daniels is better. So I feel the fans' pulse. We're all geeked up. We're all super excited. But I'm not excited because of this number. I'm excited because of what the film and the tape shows me, right? So let's take a look. This is Jayden Daniels versus Tampa Bay. And obviously, very good performance, very consistent for a rookie. But there's opportunities on the field where you're like, man, he's missing throws. He's not seeing reads. This is a really interesting example here too, right? Clean pocket. I feel like we're kind of racing. Look at his eyes, man. We're here. We're racing through our progressions. And we're kind of bypassing maybe some open throws down the field. Now, this still ends up being a crazy explosive play. And this is why he's such a talented guy. We got talented people on the roster. But the reason I think he's missing stuff is because look at this. Look at our guy, Zach, right here. This is cleared out. And if he hits this throw, that's going to be a huge explosive play in the context of reading out the offense. And so this is a great completion. That's going to affect that completion percentage number in a positive way. But is this sustainable long term if we're bypassing throws? Not really. So what my pulse is up about, quite honestly, is these types of plays, B-Rob doing great stuff, but is the maturation of Jayden Daniels as a player. And I look at like just the next game, the New York Giants game, right? We're going to get this. He's supposed to work this front side concept. This concept over here is the first read. The ability of him to check this, look, vision to the ball. We're going to check the concept out. Earlier in the game, we had a similar concept. We didn't get to the backside dig. He learned from that experience. Great pickup here by McNichols, obviously. And then we're going to work through our progression in a tight pocket under a little bit of pressure and deliver a throw here right down the pipe. Awesome job here. Just right down the middle. We're going to layer that throw over the defender and get a wonderful completion there, throw into grass. We're anticipating throws, we're throwing to space. That's a maturation, that's a development. We're pushing the football down the field, and it's awesome to see that. Completion percentage is great, but the difficulty of throw week on week just continues to improve, and that gets my pulse way up. And then every week, better, better, better. Maybe the best throw I've seen covering the team. Everyone knows this throw. We got Terry McLaurin down here on the bottom. The situation, 3rd and 7, right? It's a big down and distance, big moment of the game. If they don't get this conversion, Cincinnati walks down the field and scores a touchdown. But we got our guy down here. He's getting people lined up pre-snap. People know what's going on. They got zero pressure. Everybody's on the line of scrimmage. We're looking at this across the board. We're going to have a free rusher. This guy right here. And you know whose pulse is not up at all is Jayden Daniels. This is maybe the biggest moment of the game. And this guy's absolutely, totally composed. Gets back here on his 5th step. There is a dude, free runner, right at him, right down the barrel of the gun there. And look at this. How do you know Terry's going to be open here? This is anticipating. This is understanding your guy, understanding what the concept's trying to do, understanding that they're in zero coverage across the board. There's no safety help. I can put this ball a mile high and lock it in there. This is big time. This is about as big time as you could possibly get throwing the football. And so everyone says, oh, the completion percentage is great. No. The play on the field supports that number and in some ways surpasses it. So I think, that number may go up and down, who knows? But if he can continue to make plays like this, understanding what defenses are doing, man, the sky is the limit for this team and for him, and we're going to go as he goes. So in terms of pulse check, don't let the numbers dictate. Let the film dictate. Let what this young man's done on the field show you how good we can be. Yeah, so that's me. That's the pulse check. You guys should be excited. I'm excited. Brian, back to you.
Shout out to Logan for that pulse check on our star quarterback, Jayden Daniels. Now, Commanders family, we'll be back at the crib at Northwest Stadium this weekend, and we have just the special for you. We're talking game day tickets. Now, for discounted tickets for the Browns and the Panthers game, visit commanders.com/command center. That's commanders.com/command center and enter either Santana, Logan, or Fred as the code to get access to the discounted tickets. Now, we're keeping track, we're keeping a competition, so make sure you pick your favorite commander, either Santana, Logan, or Fred. Go get your tickets today. Fellas, now that fans know how to join the game, let's get right into this matchup. Logan, I'm gonna start with you. Our offensive line has a heavy test against Myles Garrett and company.
Yes. I think with a talent like Myles Garrett, you need to kind of like exhaust all options, right? You need to say, hey, Cliff is a play caller. What can I do to help insulate those guys? Tanny, you were talking about this on the podcast today. Screens, right? Yeah. Quick game. Get them off. Don't let them get in a rush plan. I think the other thing this team's done a great job of is staying in a really positive down and distance on third down. Don't give him obvious passing situations. Yeah. So with a guy who is that good, it needs to be everything. I mean, when you watch him, he is maybe the most dominant defensive player in the NFL. So it's not going to be one-on-ones. We're going to have chip help in obvious passing situations, but the rest of the play calls, how do you keep him unsettled and how do you get those guys in an advantageous look? I think it's going to be extremely important, and you got to run the football quite a bit.
Yep. And Fred, a true test for our defense will be quarterback Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he's been struggling a little bit, but the man can still get it done.
He's capable of getting things done. Any quarterback that weaponizes his feet, he can get outside the pocket. Not doing it as much as he did, so you got to ask yourself as a coordinator, do I want to do what we did with Kyler Murray and keep him in the pocket? Force him to beat you inside the pocket with his arm, with his mind, and I think you got a chance. We've seen what this defensive line done in Arizona. If they can do the same thing and replicate some of the stuff that they did, I think they have a chance to start fast and make sure he's playing behind the sticks. That's what you want him to do. I hate to say this with a quarterback, but he's the quarterback that I want to force him to throw the ball.
Fred, they like to spread offensively, spread you out a little bit, getting like empties, getting 2x2, push the splits quite a bit. Does that affect how you contain him? It seems like it would.
No, it was, because now you want to blitz when they go no backs, because then the clock is going. Now he know the clock is 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Get the ball out of my hand. He's been prone to hold the ball.
And he's got a really long release, like we were talking about earlier.
Elongated release, hold the ball.
Definitely like the ad-lib a lot.
And Tanner, we might have the best rushing backfield in the NFL. The best duo, at least, would be Rob and Austin. What you call Lightning and Thunder, Fred?
It's a trio now.
It's a trio
Lightning,
now.
Thunder, and the clouds above.
How important is it for us to continue to get our rushing game going?
I think it's very important. I think if you look at this Browns defense coming into the season, we knew they was going to be strong, but they've been a little bit inconsistent in these last 4 weeks. Now, the front seven is still getting after everybody. So you got to establish the run. You want to have a balanced attack, but I think getting to that run game, showing them that we're going to get those 2 yards, those 3 yards, those 4 yards. You know, some of y'all was talking about it earlier on our podcast, is talking about Myles Garrett. You know, this guy here could be disruptive in the pass game or the run game. So do we run at him? Do we run away from him? I think you got to run at him and make sure you can get those chips and those double teams. But I just feel like if we set the tone, establish the run, that's going to open up things for everything else.
And I must say this, when you run the ball, it keeps Deshaun Watson in that offense on the sideline. So for all it is offensively, it's very much a defensive weapon.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see how Cliff gets to this. Do we spread it out to run the football? Do we get in tight and run it? We've done it both ways. We've been very successful with both, but versus a defensive front like this, I can't wait to see what the game plan actually looks like.
It out.
We also know that you don't have to actually hand the ball off to be a run play no more. You can throw those slip screens. You can throw those bubble screens. So things of that nature, just try to establish something new for them.
And Fred, before we move on from this matchup, you went on the road with us, but let me tell you, bro, Burger King, they pulled up on us. They missed you, Fred. They missed you. They pulled up on us. We're going to be back at home for just the second time this season, man. How important is that 12th man for us?
Well, first of all, let's understand this. We took over Arizona Cardinals' place. We took over Tampa Bay. Now it's time to show them how the Fed house rock. They're trying to get him in there, and I don't want Deshaun Watson to even hear the cadence. Like, if we don't get at least 3 to 4 offside penalties and delay of game penalties, you ain't doing your job at home. Let's show them what the Fed house feel like.
And Fred, that is how you set the tone for our home game. And speaking of setting the tone, Mr. London Fletcher is back in the building. I'm about to head out to the field with him so we can talk about more of this defense. It's time for Best Seat in the House, presented by SeatGeek, your ticket to great Commanders seats.
Welcoming back in Big Fletch, the captain, to Command. It's good to have you back, baby.
Man, it's great to be back, man.
Yes,
I've been enjoying watching you guys from afar, but now it's time to get back to work.
Yes, sir, man. And I hope the Commanders have given you a nice relief watching them play, watch this defense play. So you ain't been here, so let's get into it real quick. What have you seen these last few games from our defense that's has you feeling good?
Well, one of the things that I've noticed, especially when you look at the game against the Arizona Cardinals, was the impact that the defensive line had on that ball game. You saw this. You started to see the pass rush take fold. You come to life. The defensive tackles, they played outstanding. Seeing Dorrance Armstrong, some of the plays that he made, the relentless pursuit, being able to be in on a sack and a half. The linebackers, Frankie Luvo and Bobby Wagner, man, those dudes, if you just watch them with no sound on, they game scream out to you. They were yelling. I mean, just the plays that they were making. And I thought the communication on the back end with the secondary has improved greatly in this last few ball games.
In London, it's great to see that chemistry build so quickly because you've been in these locker rooms before. How tough is that with all these new look pieces, with a new coaching staff? How tough is that to build that chemistry within the defense?
It's very difficult to build, especially when you look at, it's kind of been a couple moving parts in the secondary where there's, once Emmanuel Forbes got injured, you had a couple different guys playing that cornerback position. You got Mikey Sanders still going from nickel corner to being moving outside, and it was new for him. And you're playing Noah Igbenogany a lot more, so it's just a lot of different moving parts. But the communication piece, there was one play in particular on I think it was a third down play where they went from a man defense and all of a sudden morphed back into a zone coverage defense. Just the communication pre-snap and post-snap, it forced Kyler Murray to hold on to the football a lot longer, and that forced him to hold on to the football, and Dorrance Armstrong was able to get a sack.
It's great to see those things, and now we are back out here at practice. Now, we talked about this a little bit before we got on air. That's a long road trip, man. Now you're coming back. How do you shake off? I mean, sure, you've never done nothing like that before, man, but how do these guys shake off the sluggishness and get back to work?
Well, first of all, I think Coach Quinn, the plan to have those guys go from Cincinnati directly out to Arizona, I thought that was a great thing because otherwise just having that, you have that late night in Cincinnati, you come here to D.C., you're getting home, 3, 4 in the morning, then you got to travel again out to Arizona. That takes a toll on your body, but for them to go directly from Cincinnati to Arizona, I think that bode well for them. The team building standpoint and camaraderie. Now you come back home, you're able to get back into your routine. You got to get a little bit more adjusted back on the East Coast time because you being out of Arizona. But I think being back out here on the grass is going to be great for these guys. Get back into their normal routines, being back in their kind of normal routine in terms of prep. Things what they like to do, the massage therapists, all those types of things. They're people that they're used to working with. Those things will pay huge dividends for them in this week.
And London, after those back-to-back road trips, right? I'm sure there's nothing more. There's nothing that makes you happier than some home cooking. Being back at the crib, being back in front of your home fans, man. How important is that to get back in front of your home fans while you have this type of momentum?
Yeah, I think when you look at us winning 3 ball games in a row, I'm sure our fans are excited for us to be coming back home. I expect to be a ton of burgundy and gold faithful in that building come Sunday, yelling and screaming on and cheering on our football team. The excitement, I can feel it all the way down in Charlotte, just being, looking at some of the comments on social media. I'm sure you guys being around here, you guys have felt it, in person, but I know it'll be a lot of people out there tailgating pregame, and those fan base will be ready to rock and roll and cheer us on to victory on Sunday.
Man, London, the way they pulled up to Arizona and Cincinnati, dog, it was crazy. It felt like a home game, but now we actually have a home game, and it's going to be against a tough quarterback. He's struggling a little bit, but Deshaun Watson can play as a linebacker back in the day when you would go up against those mobile quarterbacks, man. How did you scheme against those guys?
Well, one thing you want to do with a quarterback like that, you want to keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get outside of your contain, so to speak. Deshaun, he's going to make plays, scrambling the football. The thing that hopefully we can get a continuation of the pass rush that we had against the Arizona Cardinals, get that same type of communication that we had on the back end from a defensive standpoint. And, the Browns, they're dealing with some injuries on their offensive line, but, their backs against the wall. They're a 1-3 football team, and I know they'll be coming in here looking to play their best football. So we'll have to be ready to rock and roll and play a good football game.
And London, you and Mr. Set the Tone, man. Who do you want to see set the tone on our defense?
Man, really, I don't really need to zero in on one guy. I'll say I'm going to zero in on one group, and it's the defensive line, because I think we saw what impact the defensive front has on the outcome of a ball game. Being able to get pressure on the quarterback, make him uncomfortable, not allow him to sit back there and go through his reads, kind of speed up the process for him. I want to see our defensive line really set that tone, continue playing excellent football like they did against the Arizona Cardinals.
Flesh, man, I've missed you, brother. It's good to have you back here, man. It's great to have you back, brother, man. I'm glad you're doing good. Glad the family's doing good. Let's send it back to the studio. I got to run back up there.
Commanders family, we're back home this weekend, and I cannot wait to see y'all pack Northwest Stadium up. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. and the game will be broadcasted on Fox. Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell, Mr. 8-9 Santana Moss, and myself will be live right from the field for our pregame and postgame shows. We'll be right on the sideline breaking down everything you need to know about the game, so catch us on the Commanders YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. And fellas, before we wrap the show, Logan, you're not the only legend up here right now. Santana Moss will be the legend of the game this Sunday. So I feel like we got to look at some of your best moments.
Oh, let me see. Check me. Hey, Jay, put that thing up there, man.
Okay, we got to change the set a little bit. There we go. Well, first, let's take it back to 2006.
Ooh,
this is
that
against
boy
the
there.
Jaguars right there.
Get missing. The whole while I'm talking to myself right now. Oh, Portis, get him. I got him. All right. Me and you, Dion.
Get little.
Dude.
Take that.
Goodness.
Forget how good he is, man.
I was on
Forget
one
how
right
good
there,
he is.
man.
Hey, listen, if you got a spin cycle like that, you can wash some clothes.
That's me right there.
I feel like you said that joke before.
No, I did. Stop hating.
And you know what, Tanner?
They should have had me mic'd up so y'all can hear me, man.
We love seeing you kill the NFC East teams. This is against the Giants. Antoine Randall,
This was
former
the
quarterback.
last game of the season, and this is the way to go home. We ain't want to go to no playoffs. I said, let me go ahead and have a memory so I can think about it, you know, while I'm sitting home watching everybody else playing the postseason.
Did you know he was going to make that throw?
You know what? We practiced it all week. I just didn't know it was going to be 3 guys back there. It was a guy that was sticking me, then there was that guy out of nowhere. I'm like, but damn, let me have it.
Made that play, though.
Hey, well, you know, Randall used to be a quarterback in college. They need to know that.
Hey, listen, when you got Santana Moss out there, you just let it fly like RG3 did right here. This is against the Eagles.
Hey, these were the days when I was coming in on 3rd down, so I had to make everything count, you know. And I remember this is the first game after our bye week. Kyle gave us a talk about, you know, being special, you know, making a moment in the game, and that was my moment.
Now,
you know?
I gotta ask, there was a flag there, bro. Did the play count?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
The flag is never on the wide receiver. Don't you worry about
Roughing
that.
the passer.
And Tanner, as we look at these memories, man, I have to ask you, because you are going to be honored on that field, man. You're not from here, bro. You're from Miami, but you made the DMV home. How special is that moment going to be, being in front of your fans at the crib, being honored?
I mean, you know, it's one of those things, man.
This is like an emotional question
honestly,
right there.
man, this is home. You know what I mean? I think when you come to an organization and they do so much for you, you end up paying them back that way by going out there and showing them how much you appreciate it. So I made the plays just to show them my appreciation, and then now they're going to give me another chance to be appreciated. So it's always good.
Tanner, just know you appreciated by us, man. The hard work you put on that field is the same work you put in the studio, brother, and we appreciate that. Commander's family, we appreciate you as well. We cannot wait to see you back at the crib when we take on the Cleveland Browns. Until then, this is Command Center. We out.
Peace.